Hello everyone, how are you doing today? So we are talking about the stamp of the month today, and just let me get my computer caught up and we will get going. As you can see, I'm using Limeade and Royal colors today. Those are a couple of new colors. Let me just refresh my computer screen so I can make sure I stay sort of straight and sort of, my goodness, let's see. You just never know, with this technology. There we go. That's pretty good. As always, thank you for shopping with me. Keeps me going. And sorry for my crickety chair. I think it's time for a new one. So this is the stamp of the month. And it is only available in February. Get yours while you can. So these colored ones have thin cuts. Our stamps of the month used to not have thin cuts. Now occasionally they do. So it's just kind of hit or miss depending on the month, depending on the stamp set. And this is an absolutely lovely one with lots of thin cuts. Now if you're a VIP, you still get your stamp set for free. You just buy the thin cuts. And with a qualifying order of $50. If you're not a VIP, you can still get the stamp set at a discount. Spend $50 qualifying. You can get the stamp sets for $5 instead of $19.95. Then if you want the thin cuts, you just pay an additional for the thin cuts. Enough about that. All right, white piece of paper. Pretend this is my cardstock. It is cardstock size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 A2 size cardstock, or size card. It represents the card. My words are difficult today. All right, so what I'm teaching you in this class is kind of to get out of your own comfort zone, try some different things that you might not have thought to try, and give you some examples of simple, or if you want a good, better, best type scenario, add fries type scenario. Just some different things you can do. If you need something quick, do the first one. If you want to do a little bit more, go on to the second one, and so on and so forth. And this is by far not the only thing you can do. It's just giving you a jumping off point, and you can go from there. So I've got my 2 leaves, my thinking of you, and my 2 pansies or violets or whatever flowers you want them to be. I could have picked any colors. I picked some darker colors or brighter colors to hopefully let you see them a little easier. And I wanted to give you some tips and tricks along the way. So the first one is, I like to line up my grid, my paper on my grid. Keeps me straight, especially if you're doing words. I like to line up my stamps using my grid paper. So I will line it up like that and then place my block over it. Sorry about that sun, it seems to be a little bit bright. Let me know if it's causing you problems seeing. So I'm going to stamp my first image in Limeade, and I'm going to go off the page a little bit because I've done like 5 or 6 of them, and I know that I need to start off the page so that way I end up off the page so it looks even or balanced. Okay, now one rule of thumb I'm going to try and line up this point with the point of the top of the stem, keeping everything going relatively, and that's okay. We'll take care of that later. You could huff on it and try and, let me get my head in the way, hopefully not, and line it back up, which I'm probably not going to be able to do because I can't get directly over it. Yeah, oh well, it's fine. Go on to the next one. When you think you're touching that, I usually tell my customers and my friends, come down just a smidge more, and it'll make sure that you get that. Okay, so I'm just reversing back and forth with my stamps. I'm not slam stamping. In other words, not letting it transfer that ink. It's a smaller stamp, so I'm not squishing it all the way out. I'm just letting it transfer the ink. Okay, and it's also lined and not a filled in stamp where I'd need to leave it longer to transfer because it has more ink, if you will. All right, so there's that. Now the second thing that I did was I put my cluster, I'm going to move this over just a little bit, and I'll move it up, make sure I stay on camera. Okay, that's good. Although I'm always crooked, I don't know why. If it looks straight to me, it's crooked on camera. All right, here nor there. This is Royal. It's a gorgeous purple. All right, so I wanted to do a cluster. And kind of like muscle memory, if you start at the same point, your muscle memory will get really used to doing it that way. So, and I probably should have put that up a little bit more, but that's okay. And I'm gonna look to my other one to see what I did. So 1, 2, I'm just turning the stamp as I go to where it will fit in. And sorry if my head's in the way. And get a nice cluster grouping together, okay? I'm gonna come back to those. I'm gonna go back to my limeade green, make sure I got my words the right way, make sure I'm lined up, and stamp my words. There again, really fine lines, so I don't need to push a ton. I don't need to leave it sitting there a ton. And the last thing we're going to do is add a little flower there. Quick and easy card. Put it, you know, it could have been a card front. Done, right? Okay. So, that's a quick and easy card, right? Let's say you wanted to do a little bit more. And this is the one that I had done before. It's a little bit better. Not much. Just, you know, situated a little better. So there's number 1. Stamp on it and go. Number 2. Bring out some of your, I don't know, they're not foam. They're like bristly soft brushes, okay? So we're gonna bring those 2 out and move this one aside. Actually, yeah. So on this piece of paper, we are going to take our green, and I always tap it off, and I start really lightly because I don't want to get, if you don't tap it off, you can get that. You don't want that. If you start on it hard, you can get that. You don't want that. Ink it, tap it lightly. So I'm just getting some color where those leaves are going to be and where I want my words to be, okay? So there's that. And then I'm going to take the purple, which is really strong, and I'm even going to use my, let's see if you can see this. I'm even going to use my paper to make sure that I'm tapping it off, and very lightly because it's a stronger color until you get something on the paper, and then you can go a little darker as it doesn't have as much ink in the sponge. Okay, same thing. Start in the middle. See, I went a little too hard, but that's okay. I'm just going to wait until the brush is mostly empty and try and blend that out as best as possible. Okay? So don't be afraid to just sit there and over and over and over. Okay? Until you get it to where you want it and as much color as you want. Maybe you want it a little darker. So you can do that. Just go back and play with it. Have fun. Then we would stamp over the top just like we did on this one. And you end up with this. And see how much different? So the next evolution, if you will. All right? So that's how I did that. Now, I want to show you, and I'm going to use this one since it's already made. And I want to show you something else. So we'll just leave those up there. So this is like here. We don't want to do this. We want to do something else. What am I going to do? I'm going to bring in a block. I'm going to bring in a paintbrush. And get me some water. I'm going to make sure that my paintbrush is clean. I'm going to start with some green, and I'm going to put it on the block rather than in here. If you put it in the well of your ink pad, do not shut it with water. You'll dilute it. Wipe it out. You can do that, but wipe it out before you shut the lid. Or you can do it this way. Add just a smidge of water in the middle. Blend it around. Okay. And then, let's see, guys, see what I did. Take something, scissors, whatever. I've got it nice and juicy on there. Get those out of the way. And I'm just going to tap some ink on there. Maybe over here. The harder you hold it, the harder you tap, gets a different look than the lighter you hold it and the lighter you tap. So you can get light and dark there. And then what I did is you can also paint with this if you want to paint in. And there again, this is just regular cardstock. It's not watercolor, but I don't have my brush super wet. And I'm just, you know, going over it quickly rather than over and over to ball up the paper, like so. Now I'm going to wash this brush out off camera. And I am going to wash this out right away so it doesn't stain your blocks. Okay, and then I'm going to dry it because I don't want it going in wet into my purple. And I don't need a lot of purple because it's a super strong color. Again, we're going to wet that just a smidge. Oh, lost my paintbrush. Excuse me. Lost my paintbrush. And I'm going to take that water and swirl it around. And we want it wet at first so we can tap it onto there. Isn't that pretty? You can mix and you could do it over the whole thing. You can just do it in sections like I did. And then I'm just going to, follow the curve of these lines. And if you have to, do all the ones that you can do. Quick and easy. It's got to be easy for me. And then just rotate your paper so you're kind of just following the curves of the lines. And it's better to go out and kind of lift your brush up than to go in and be hard and then lift on the outside, unless you want a different look. Okay, so I'm just going around painting all of those. And you can see I'm not doing that much. All right, now I'm going to go and I'm going to find a little bit darker color to just color in those centers a little bit darker. And it will dry lighter because it's got water on it. So kind of keep that in mind. And there we go. And I will show you the other one because I was able to get, hold on, let me rinse off my brush. Always rinse off your stuff. Don't leave it for later. Okay. And this one that I already had done, I got a little bit bigger splatters. Again, rinse this off because that, you know, dark color will definitely stain your block if you're not careful. And this one had a little bit bigger splotches, but same idea. Okay, so there's that one, and we will throw that up there. And now I'm just going to bring in some, put that away, and I'm going to close these up because I don't think I need these. Don't want to get my arm in it. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in these. I've already stamped them, and I want to show you, actually, let's get a green one too. So this is this way, and I want to show you the black ink pad, the difference. Oops, sponged that a little bit too much. If you do a black one, I got it a little, my pad was really juicy. Okay, get rid of these, don't need these. Close that up. All right. I'm a September baby, I can't help it. All right, so now I'm gonna pull out a couple of markers. And these are Lavender Blend and Dull Green Blend. And they are, this is my little indication that they are still in the catalog. We don't have all of them anymore, but that's okay. We have plenty of colors that match our colors. All right, so the leaves, you can just, again, it's kind of like the watercolor. I'm not really doing a whole lot, right? I'll let that one dry a little bit before I show you that. Then on here, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Oh, look at that. Got purple all over me. I want to transfer that. I'm a messy crafter today. All right, so if you don't know about our Spectrum Noir colors, there's 3 different colors in one pen, light, medium, and dark. They also say this is Lavender Blend, so it's Lavender 1, 2, and 3. That means it's in succession. If it said, let's see if this one, no, that one's 1, 2, 3 as well. It could be 2, 4, and 5. It just depends on the marker that you have and that you grab. So, a couple different ways you can do it. You can just color it in. And I'm starting with the light, but you don't necessarily have to. You can just color it in, light. And then your medium. It's easiest to turn stuff. And then you can go to your dark outline. And add some dark. Now, this is a juicy marker, so what you want to do is know that the longer you have it down, the more it's going to bleed into the paper. So if you have a juicy marker, stay a little bit away from the edge of the outline, and then it will just bleed right up to it. So because I'm lifting, I'm getting less time for that ink to pool on the paper, okay? And the lighter that you're touching down with it also will help you to achieve that as well. And you can see that I am turning so that way I can see where I'm going and not just going blindly so I don't go over the edge. Okay, so coloring it in like you used to do in school, outlining it like so, okay? That's the first one. Let that focus a little bit. Come on, focus. I can't tell if it's focusing. Yes, I guess so. All right, so next, I'm gonna take that same kind of aspect. I'm gonna do the light and the medium, but this time I'm just gonna use these lines and I'm gonna use the curvature of the lines. If you have something curved and you go straight with it, it doesn't look as good as if you curve with it, okay? So this time I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna follow those curvy lines, right? They give you the lines, so they're right there. You might as well use them, right? And again, I'm starting in the middle and pulling out and lifting up. Now, since I have that done, I can go and pull it out a little more. And I forgot what I was doing. And the other thing you want to do is leave some white, okay? Now you could have done this on the lighter side of cardstock too. Okay, now I'm going to take the medium. Again, I'm going to draw around the edge. And these markers dry, so if you work tandem. If you work one area at a time, again, I'm kind of following the curve of the plant or the leaf. But if you go here and I let it dry, it will build on the color. If you do it all at once, it's a softer blend of color, kind of like one layer of color, so it blends. So these are really nice markers because you can get some nice blended effects if you use it right away. But if you want to go back and get some darker, you can definitely layer on the color and get kind of that another step up of color. So I am just following around, and I'm sorry if it's tedious. I just wanted to show you that you can follow it around and just leave some of that white, okay? Now you could go back and put this in with a white gel pen as well if you wanted, which I didn't even think about. And there again, you're only limited to what you don't think of. And I like to start it on my marker. But I could go in and, what would I do? Maybe just add some white here and there. So we're just adding a little bit more. It's just building on what you're doing, thinking to try something, okay? And you could have added in some white lines. Again, if you do that, you're going to want to follow the curve of the lines that are there because it will look better. So I'll show you the difference between those two. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if that's better or not. And I'll take some stills of this. Okay. And what else are we going to do with this? Another way that you can leave some of that white is to be very disciplined on where you're going and leave some white. So if you watch, and this probably works better with just one color because that's a dark color. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's try that again. Okay, our dark colors are here, and we can outline it. And then we'll just leave some definite white. And you want it to just be kind of a little bit of a line. That's better. So see how this one is kind of choppy and stuff, where this, it's just one color. You can go back and add a little bit more. Well, you can even do the lighter. You can go back and add a little bit more at the base with just this is just light on light. And then see how this little bit of white leaving it looks really good. And actually, I have a card that even does it better. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. And this is one of the cards that I'm going to be doing in card class. But see, this is shortbread paper on the light side. And I colored it in with markers. But see how I left the shortbread color under there? That is kind of similar to what you can do here. But you can see it because it's a little bit bigger on here. So there you go. So I guess what I'm saying is just play with stuff. And what does it look like when you have a whole one? It looks like this. So today we have 4 choices, pretending that they're cards, of course. Oh, I really don't want that showing. Let's see. Oh well. So, what is your favorite? Do you like to be quick and easy? Do you like to just sponge and quick coloring? Do you like to do a little painting, or do you like to use your markers a lot? Now, I haven't even thrown in there, you know, some sparkles or some glitter gems or, you know, whatever other little things you want to add to it, little accessories, if you will. Clear gems, little sparkles, glitter paper, whatever. So it's just a jumping off point to show you that if you need something quick and easy, go for it. If you want to spend your time coloring today, do that. If you want to do something in between, try something new. I guess is what I'm saying as I'm rambling on and on. That's it for today, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hi, Dolores. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you could like and share and subscribe, that would really help my channel. I'd be very appreciative. So thanks again, and have a great day. Bye now.